Paul and Maureen are here now with much more local news.
Danny, a man was shot outside a local nightclub, and we've uncovered a history of violence there.
Just one of the stories we're working on, all new tonight.
How did a North Mech High teenager get past this fence and all the way down to where those planes are? There's a meeting going on today in Washington, D.C. talking about that very issue. We'll tell you who's at that meeting.
Hey, the winds of change are blowing with the Charlotte Bobcats. It's all about money, but what does the future hold?
Day 4 of the water boil advisory in Clover coming up. I'll tell you how bottled water is flying off the shelves.
Everywhere you turn, they keep going up. Gas prices. I'm Derek Rose with the story everyone loves to hate.
WBTV High Definition Program is sponsored by Time Warner Cable. WBTV News at 5 starts right now.
How did this Charlotte teenager get past checkpoints and onto a U.S. Airways plane bound for Boston? Tonight, a congressman demanding answers from the TSA about a major security breach. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. I'm Paul Cameron.
And I'm Maureen O'Boyle. Nice to have you with us on this Friday. Congressman Bill Keating is from Boston, the same place where Delvante Tisdale fell to his death from the wheel well of a jet plane. Ever since, Keating has been trying to find out how Tisdale got on board. Our Tom Rousey is live and on your side tonight. And Tom, it looks like investigators are zeroing in on a problem there at Charlotte Douglas.
And it's airport perimeter security, Maureen. We have confirmed that this afternoon a meeting has been going on between members of Keating's staff and the TSA. The big issue is, how did North Mech High teenager Delvante Tisdale get past this fence, either under it or through this barbed wire, or find some way to get down there where those planes are and climb into the wheel well of a plane? Now, Keating, as you mentioned, has been all over this. This meeting today, specifically, I'm told by the TSA, was to discuss perimeter security at airports. And obviously there was a problem with perimeter security here at Charlotte for Tisdale to have been able to do that. Now, you may remember Keating was all over this issue late last year when he was still a prosecutor in Massachusetts, calling it a major security breach. Then he became a U.S. congressman, and he grilled a few weeks ago the head of Homeland Security, Janet Napolitano, about this issue, and basically got her to admit that a big mistake had been made. Now, we got a statement, as I mentioned, from the TSA about today's meeting. It talked about the meeting and how it would be about perimeter security, but then it went on to say something else, and we're going to put that up on the screen right here. It said that the TSA continues to work with the airport, which has responsibility for access control security, to conduct a thorough investigation based on the facts and information provided by law enforcement. And I want to point that one part out again. It says the airport, which has responsibility basically for perimeter security. So the TSA obviously saying it was Charlotte Douglas that made a mistake here in allowing somehow Delvante Tisdale to get onto that tarmac. Airport has not had much to say publicly about its security, but we do know there has been a task force locally involving the CMPD chief that has been meeting, trying to determine exactly what went wrong here back in November. Live at Charlotte Douglas Airport, I'm Tom Rousey, WBTV, on your side.
Obviously, we need to know, Tom. Thank you. We've seen a string of security problems at Charlotte Douglas since November. First, there was the Tisdale incident. Then 4 days later, a TSA sting caught a JetBlue employee taking bribes to let suspicious baggage through security. And less than 2 weeks ago, another airline employee was fired after he jumps a perimeter fence. An ex-TSA officer told us in January it comes down to the people.
No matter what policy you set up, the individuals are still in the middle, and they're the ones that are going to have to stick to the rules.
We will stay on the Delvante Tisdale investigation, and we won't stop asking questions until we get answers.
A man injured at a shootout, just the latest violence at a pair of clubs in South Charlotte. The violence erupted at Club Rain on Old Prineville Road early this morning. Two groups got into a fight, then somebody pulled out a gun. Sarah Batista live at the club tonight. Sarah, there is a history of violence at that club.
Well, this club is right next to Club Onyx. Different owners, same industry, and they share the same parking lot. There have been a number of shootings out here over the years. Police know the area well. Flashing blue lights lit up the night outside of Club Rain around 1:30 Friday morning. Investigators say a fight broke out between two groups. Bouncers at the club ordered everyone to leave, but the brawl spilled into the parking lot. That's when police say someone pulled out a gun and started shooting.
It's just time to stop. That's all that really matters. It's time to stop.
Investigators say no one was shot, but one man was taken to the hospital for minor injuries. It's the first major incident at Club Rain this year. year. But the small business complex that includes both clubs is familiar to police. In 2008, Club Onyx, right next door, made WBTV news 3 times for separate incidents involving guns. Today, we stopped by both Club Onyx and Club Rain, but no one was there. A look at police records show crime within 1,000 feet of the clubs has remained steady. In 2009, there were 10 assault reports, 16 break-ins, 9 incidents involving drugs. In 2010, 12 assaults, 17 car break-ins, and 1 drug arrest. Club regulars say they want to see violence at the club end.
So people can come out here and just have a good time and make it back to their families and, you know, raise their kids and live their lives, because life's too short for this.
And just before we went on air, the owner of Club Onyx came over and told us he wanted to make it very clear that they are not affiliated with Club Rain. He says they have managed to stay out of trouble since 2008, and he also says that his security checks for weapons. They check cars coming into the parking lot during club hours. We're live in South Charlotte. Sarah Batista, WBTV, on your side.
Sarah, thank you. Now, police have arrested 1 person for last night's shooting. His name is Lonnie Hames, charged with assault and battery.
We're tracking an economy alert tonight. 125 new jobs coming to Charlotte. Blue Star Silicones is building a new facility at the old Verkler chemical site. The new jobs will have an average salary of $62,000 a year. Much more on the company and when it starts hiring coming up later in our newscast.
Well, there's some new information tonight about these wildfires that burned across South Carolina. State fire officials say in the past week they've battled 303 fires, 20 buildings destroyed, and the fire caused more than $473,000 damage. Our Kelly Franson in the First Alert Weather Center right now.
That rain we got overnight, it helped in some areas, but then those winds really picked up, Kelly.
Wicked wind.
Wicked wind for many of us. In fact, we got a lot more wind than we got rain out of that system. It's starting to get a little better, but we still have a wind advisory out for most of the area. That expires at 6, so just a little less than an hour on that. The high wind warning that you see for the mountains is in effect until 8 p.m. tonight. So what sort of wind speeds are we talking about? Well, these are the latest wind gusts. Boone reporting a 37-mile-an-hour gust, 20 for Lenore, 18 for Shelby, 24 from Monroe, 26 here in Charlotte. Earlier, we were gusting into the 30s at times, so a little bit of improvement. We'll see more as the night goes on, but we're also going to see a pretty sharp cool down. Look at this, 40s, 50s, 60s. 2 hours ago, we were at 75 in Charlotte, so a 10-degree drop in 2 hours. Pretty sharp when we've still got some sunshine. Those winds are blowing in much cooler air from the northwest. Should be right around 54 at 7, into the 40s at 9, mid-40s at 11. And while we will be calming those winds down a little, still some gusts to around 15 miles an hour, so it is going to be chilly if you're out around 11 p.m. tonight. Maureen?
All right, Kelly, now to the pain at the pump. We're all feeling it. Some stations raising prices as much as 10 cents a gallon overnight. And as Derek Rose found, it's leaving many of us gasping for air.
Here we go again.
It just changes hour by hour.
These prices are ridiculous out here, I tell you.
Everyone's least favorite subject, the price of gas.
Pretty soon everybody going to be walking, not going to be able to afford to fill their vehicles up.
It's draining pockets everywhere.
It normally takes about $60, and I normally run 2-3 tanks a week.
Takes about $100 or more to fill up the truck. I have an SUV.
Just looking at it hurts.
It's almost $60 now, and it ain't slowed down.
And Charlotte is hurting bad. According to AAA, last year the average price for regular gas in Charlotte, $2.67. Last month, $3.05. Last night, $3.23. And today it's at $3.30. A 7-cent jump overnight, 12 cents higher than the national average.
By this summer, it's going to be $5 a gallon.
You think so?
I know so.
That's something some people don't even want to think about. It's hard enough as it is right now.
It feels like I'm working just to pay for my gas. I don't know how much money I can afford to put in my gas tank and still have money left over for the week.
That's a story many people can relate to. Sadly, one that will be told again and again, as experts predict those numbers will continue to change for the worst. In Charlotte, Derek Rose.
There's really no choices. Either don't work or pay their prices.
WBTV. on your side.
It is agony, and you can get help to find the cheapest gas prices. Go to WBTV.com. Our website has a gas tracking map. Just click on traffic, then gas prices to compare them in your neighborhood. And I watched my tank go down this afternoon, stuck on 77. I was stuck out there in traffic this afternoon.
That's a bad feeling.
And it got hot in that car.
I bet it did. Hey, Friday night rush hours here. Jacinda Garavito in the First Alert Traffic Center.
It sure is. Your First Alert Traffic brought to you by Paramount Kia of Hickory. So I want to show you our problem areas just in case you're thinking about heading out to enjoy this Friday. 485, the outer loop in Pineville, bumper to bumper. I-77 in Huntersville. This is I-77 northbound is slow. And I-85 northbound in the University area is slow. I have a live DOT camera to show you this congestion and a 30-minute delay I-77 south in Kannapolis from exit 58 to exit 63. Use Highway 29 as your alternate route. Back to the news desk.
Next at 5, a mega church pastor convicted of tax crimes. Tonight we know where Anthony Jenright will serve his 8-year prison sentence.
And later, something new in more women's pocketbooks, and it could save your life. This is WBTV. We're live and always on your side.